All right, what's up? It's your boy Waylon from Big Dirty, Michigan. And today, we're doing a little tutorial video on how to fillet a bluegill. Now, I've never done any kind of tutorial before. I'm not very good at teaching people, but I'm gonna try today because I'm somewhat knowledgeable in the field of filleting fish. Okay, I've been doing it for a couple years now, and I gotta say, I think I'm all right at it. All right enough that I can make a video on it, which is why I'm making a video on it, right? But this is especially a really good video to watch if you like fishing. Because if you like fishing, I'm sure you like catching them. And if you like catching them, you're probably going to want to start keeping them and eating them after this video. This video is going to make it real easy on how to fillet fish. All right. By the way, this goes for all kinds of fish. You can use this method on any kind of fish. I've used it on bluegill, bass, walleye, even pike to some extent, even though they're a little bit more different. But you can use it on pretty much any fish. Perch, crappie, you know, it works. But yeah, bluegill, super easy fish to show the tutorial on, just because there's like hardly any bones at all in them. And yeah, it's just the same process with other fish, except sometimes they have more bones because they're a little bit bigger, especially pike. Pike are a bit of a special one. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. All right, so first things first, I flipped the bluegill over because this is the easiest side to start on, in my opinion. And first things first, you're gonna need to get yourself a fillet knife, like I have here. You want to get yourself a really nice knife, one that's sharp, one that's meant for cutting fish. And if you want, you can even give it a couple swipes through your little sharpener here. I like to give it about, 3 to 5 swipes before I start cutting fish. Let's get that edge. Just get that edge, nice and sharp. All right. So once you get yourself a nice sharp knife, it's also a pretty smart idea to grab yourself a little bit of paper towel just to lay your fillets on when you're done with the fish. So first things first, I like to take the tip of my knife, put it right underneath this little side fin right here. I'm not a fish anatomy expert, so I don't know what parts of the fish are called sometimes. You're just gonna have to deal with it. Lift that up, and right behind this little black spot here, I've always called this spot the ear. I don't think it's an ear. I'm pretty sure fish can't even hear. They use like their lateral line for that. But regardless, I always call this black spot the ear. Slip your blade right behind the ear right there, just like that. And you're gonna put your blade on somewhat of a diagonal, like so. As you can see, I got this little diagonal line going through here, right behind that black spot. And you're just gonna make one nice clean cut. Just like that. Single cut right down to the spine, all right? And you'll be able to feel that with the back of your knife somewhere in this region here. You can actually see on my knife, I got a couple little, nicks on there. That's from hitting the spine. And that's just something you're gonna get a feel for over time as you, fillet more fish. But you're just gonna feel for that spine, and it's usually right where your knife stops. Your knife generally isn't gonna go much farther than the spine because the spine is a pretty thick bone, and it's pretty hard bone at that too. So once you get down to the spine here, after you make your initial incision right here along this line, I like to take my knife, I like to twist it this way, okay? So that way you're cutting along the spine. And just using the tip of your knife right here, just follow that spine. Takes a second to get started, but once you do, it's pretty straightforward. And again, this is just something you get a feel for over time. It's not something you're gonna get right away on your first fish. I know for me especially, it took me quite a few fish before I finally started, getting a feel for it, getting the hang of it and whatnot. And you're just gonna gently use your tip to guide the knife across the spine there. You're not using the whole blade, all right? You don't wanna use the whole blade to go through it because you're just gonna cut through the rib cage and probably miss a lot of good meat, and that's just no good. So again, just use that tip of your knife there to cut all the way down to where we're gonna want to poke through at. And what I mean by poke through is poke through the rest of the fish. And you're gonna stop the tip of your knife right about at the end here, at the end of this top fin blade, whatever it is, I don't know. And you're gonna stop it right about at the end there, turn your knife at a diagonal, because this is where you're gonna be aiming to poke out at. You're gonna wanna poke out somewhere around the poop chute area, if you can. And very simply, just like that. And you should be flat against the bottom fins down here. You should be pretty flat against those fins right there. If you're not, don't worry about it. It's not that much meat you're missing out anyways. And you're just going to simply angle your knife down a little bit, tilt it down just slightly, so that way you can follow the rest of the spine and get all that meat out of there on this one fillet. And just gently guide your blade across the tail all the way to the back. And there you go. Now you're somewhat close to being done with your single fillet here. Now you got this little flap. You got a flap right here that goes all the way up to the head. And yeah, all that's left to do is to cut around the rib cage to get a nice boneless fillet out of this fish, right? Very simply, what I have to do, I have to pick up on this back flap right here. I have to put quite a bit of pressure on it too, if I'm able. And simply take the tip of your knife again. You want to use the tip of your knife right here and gently guide it across the meat on the inside. All right, while using pressure. And I have to move my thumb around as I do this too, just to, apply pressure to the meat, because it makes it easier for the blade to cut through if there's more pressure against the rib cage. You're just gently going to use the tip here to cut through. And the reason I say gently is because you're going to start feeling that rib cage somewhere in this region here with the tip of your knife. And if you go too hard at it, you're going to end up cutting through the rib cage, because those rib bones, they're pretty hard, but they're also pretty easy to cut through too. And you want a nice boneless fillet. You don't want to go back later and scoop that rib cage out. You want to just do it all clean first try around. And on bluegill and perch and crappie and whatnot on panfish, it's not that big of a deal to go back and cut out that rib cage. But on bigger fish, like walleye, especially bigger walleye, some bigger pike, some bigger, even bigger panfish species, especially big perch, dude. Big perch can get quite annoying to go back and cut all those bones out that you could have just skipped over the first time around. So back to what I was saying though, you want to get down, and if it helps, you can actually get your head down here too and kind of look closer at that meat, right? You're just gonna go gently with your tip of your knife and just feel around for that rib cage. Sometimes even helps if you're able to see it too. If you get your head down eye level with the meat, sometimes you are able to see that rib cage start poking out there. I know it's kind of hard to see from this angle, but you just go kind of up and over around the rib cage using the tip of your knife, all in the tip of your knife. I can't stress that enough. The tip of your knife is by far gonna be your best friend when filleting fish. Just very gentle cuts. That's also the reason why I like to use a sharp knife, by the way, super sharp knife, because when you're using the tip of your knife and you're trying to make slow, gentle cuts and miss all the bones, it's a lot easier to do with a really sharp knife. Again, pull up on that meat, add pressure against those bones as you cut. If you need to, you can make a couple more incisions down this head too, so that way your fillet comes off nice and clean and easily. Just go very slow, take your time. There's no need to rush this, especially this part right here. And this is how you maximize all the meat on a single fillet. And especially on panfish, smaller panfish, it's really important to try and not miss any meat, because these fish, especially bluegill, they don't hold a whole lot of it. So try and go as slow as you can. And now it's probably starting to get easier to see how I'm pulling up on this meat right here. I'm just using the tip of my knife to just skim around that rib cage. And I'm getting all the meat while missing all the bones. And as you can see here, I'll pull this back into frame so you can see it a little better. You're gonna start to come to the end here. You're over all of the bones, all the organs and whatnot. And now it's just a matter of getting that fillet off. You do have the option here to just pull the fillet up straight like this and just slice right through, or you can keep doing this method right here, which is what I choose to do, and just keep skimming that fillet down until it's completely off the fish. It's just a little extra thing you can do just to try and maximize your meat. And usually about right here is where I cut it off. And yeah, just like that. You're left with a nice, big, fat bluegill fillet. As you can see down this side, you got quite a bit of meat right there. Boneless, fat fillet, just like that. And same process applies to the other side of the fish as well. You just do the exact same thing. Cut down at an angle right behind the head there. Follow the spine with the tip of your knife. Shoot through at the poop chute. Slip back, turn your knife the opposite way. Flip that flap up that you created by going through the poop chute here. Come back through up to the rib cage, and then just skim the rib cage while pulling on the meat, obviously. And just skim that rib cage with the tip of your knife until you get it off at the end here, just like that. There's no guts, no bones, and no missed meat. You're just left with a nice, beautiful fillet. That is some good stuff right there. All right, so now I'm gonna show you how to take this flesh off on the back here, because I assume most of you don't like eating your fillet with a bluegill skin on the back there. I know on trout it's fine to cook it because it just peels right off super easily, but you know, panfish, not as much. So what I like to do, very simple, because this is a fillet knife and it flexes, as you can see. All you gotta do, come down here. I have to hold the end with my middle finger here, or any finger really. Take my knife, press it down, kind of flex it, and just slowly skim the meat. Just slowly start making an incision. Sometimes it's gonna slip out of your hand, that's all right, just keep going at it. Just like that. Eventually you're gonna get that underneath the meat there. You're gonna be right in between the meat and the flesh. As you can see, we're just in between the meat and the flesh there. That's exactly where we wanna be. Just keep pressure on your knife so that it flexes, keeps the blade flat, while also giving you a nice handle to grip onto, and just work it slow so that way you don't keep any meat on the flesh there. Work it nice and slow. And it's actually super easy just to go all the way across, just like that. I like to angle my knife down just a little bit while also keeping it flat. And I have to just work back and forth nice and slowly. No need to rush. Take your time, because if you rush and take this too fast, you might miss a lot of good meat. Trust me, I've done it before. It's never a good feeling. We're just slowly going at it. If it helps, you can even peel the meat up and put your fingers underneath that even to give you more grip as you go down the fillet. Just slowly going down here till eventually you come to the end of your meat, just like that. As you can see, we are now left with all meat right here. No scales, no flesh, just all meat. Boneless, organless, fleshless meat. Here's the skin here just to show you. There's no meat on that either. Maybe a little bit on the edges here, but that's all right. No meat on this guy either. No skin on the meat and no meat on the skin. That's exactly what we're looking for. Perfect fillet. And like I said, the process applies to the other side of the fish as well. Same exact thing. Super simple, super easy way to fillet all types of fish, at least most types of fish. Super easy way to clean bluegill, perch, crappie, bass, walleye, etc. You name it, you can fillet it using this method. Super easy, super simple, super quick. But yeah, if you enjoyed the video, if you liked it, leave a like, comment, subscribe if you want to. That's all I got for this one. I got a few more videos on the way very soon, actually. Got one that I still need to edit up. I got another one I just filmed earlier today, sitting on my GoPro right now, that I also have to edit up. And then I got this one too that I'm putting out. So got a lot of content coming your way pretty soon here. And yeah, just stick around, stay tuned to see what it is. That's all I got for this video. Thank you for watching, and stay outside.